Welcome everyone to the deep dive. Do you ever feel that pressure, that relentless tug of urban living,
Hmm.
that familiar feeling? The
Yeah.
rigid 9 to 5, the soul-crushing commute that just eats away at your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Precious hours just gone.
And then the big one, that sting of just exorbitant rent. It feels like, I don't know, a massive chunk of your hard-earned money just vanishes.
Right, before you even really see it.
Exactly. It's like this universal pressure, isn't it? That sort of quiet yearning for something, well, something different.
A different pace, maybe.
Yeah, a life with more space, maybe more peace, definitely less financial strain,
Hmm.
where you're not just, existing, but actually living.
But then comes the big question.
Right. Can you actually escape that whole urban cycle, find that peace, and still achieve, significant financial success? It often feels like you have to choose one or the other.
An impossible trade-off, it seems sometimes.
What if we told you it's not only possible, but there are like proven real-world strategies and some surprising facts that are letting people earn what we're calling metro-level income without living in a metro city?
That's the fascinating part.
So that's our mission today. This deep dive is really for you, the listener. We want to cut through the noise, provide a clear pathway packed with actionable insights into this really transformative phenomenon. Okay, let's unpack this.
What's truly fascinating here is, well, it's how fundamentally our whole understanding of wealth creation and professional opportunity is shifting. It's a seismic shift, really.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just about, cutting costs, though, let's be honest, that's a pretty compelling part of it.
Definitely a big part.
But it's more about a strategic reevaluation,
Mhm.
thinking about how and where real financial value is generated in today's economy.
So challenging that old idea.
Exactly. Challenging that ingrained assumption that you have to be physically present in a major city to get the good jobs, the high pay, to build wealth, or have a thriving career.
All right, that you must be downtown.
We're moving way beyond just surviving outside the city. We're talking about a paradigm where people are genuinely thriving, often in places that might seem, well, unexpected, maybe even idyllic.
Right.
It's really about redefining prosperity, but on your own terms.
So that brings us right to the core, doesn't it? This trend we're seeing, people rethinking cities. Why is this exodus happening now? What's the real driver behind this pretty significant shift, this desire to leave the hustle behind?
It feels like something snapped, almost.
Yeah. It almost feels like in a really short time, the whole global workforce just collectively hit pause and reevaluated everything. Their relationship with the traditional office and, yeah, by extension, with city life itself.
Indeed. And the profound impact of the post-pandemic era, you really can't overstate it. It acted as this unprecedented global catalyst. It just completely redefined the traditional office paradigm. I mean, in ways we probably couldn't have imagined just a few years back.
Totally. Before, remote work felt like.
What? A niche perk. Right. A nice to have for certain roles, maybe. Or something for, a tiny percentage of workers, often viewed with skepticism by management, right? Worried about productivity, collaboration.
Always the productivity question.
But now, it's rapidly shifted. It's mainstream. It's accepted. And honestly, in many cases, it's the preferred way to work for millions of people and countless companies. The infrastructure, the trust, the proof that it works, it all matured incredibly fast.
And we actually have some solid data on this, showing just how big this change is.
Yeah, the numbers are striking.
A 2023 Statista report found that nearly 40% of workers who can work remotely are now doing it from home full-time.
40%. Just pause on that for a second.
It's huge. This isn't some small niche group of digital nomads we're talking about.
Not at all.
It's a massive societal shift, an economic one too, affecting a huge chunk of the global workforce. It fundamentally changes how we think about work, where it happens, and, yeah, the geographical limits.
It really makes you think.
Right. Why would you endure that daily grind? A cramped, super expensive flat in, say, Mumbai or Delhi. The traffic, the noise, when you could do the exact same high-value job.
For the same pay. Often.
Exactly. For the same competitive salary, but maybe from the mountains of Himachal. Suddenly, that abstract statistic feels very real, very relatable.
That's a compelling proposition, isn't it?
Utterly compelling for a lot of people, I imagine.
In that example, it perfectly nails the core economic logic behind this migration. It's really way more than just a lifestyle preference or some temporary trend.
It's calculated moves.
It is. It's an increasingly shrewd financial calculation people are making. What many are realizing, often with this big aha moment, is that the higher salary they get in a city, Well, it often gets dramatically eaten away.
By the hidden costs. Yeah.
Exactly. The pervasive, sometimes insidious hidden costs of just living in a city. We're not just talking about the obvious one, rent, even though that can easily be half your salary or more. But think about the escalating cost of fuel or public transport just to get around, the daily cost of food-inflated groceries, the constant temptation of eating out.
Parking. Don't forget parking.
Oh, parking, absolutely. That's a whole budget line in itself in some places, plus higher costs for entertainment and just countless miscellaneous daily expenses that just chip away at your income. You might not even notice them individually.
Yeah, it feels like you're on a treadmill, right? Earning more, maybe, but never quite getting ahead because the city itself demands so much back.
Precisely. And that's the key point, that higher gross income in a city, it often translates to surprisingly similar, or honestly, in many cases, even lower net savings compared to someone doing the same job remotely from a lower cost of living area.
Okay, let's see the math on that.
Right, simple example. You might earn, say, 1.2 lakh in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Good salary. But if a whopping 60,000 of that just vanishes into rent and basic food.
Half of it gone.
Yeah, your actual disposable income, the money you have left for saving, investing, living, it's just 60,000. Now, compare that to someone earning maybe 1 lakh remotely in a smaller town. Their rent might be, I don't know, 4,000.
Wow. Okay.
So their disposable income after those basic costs is suddenly 96,000. It's that critical difference, the one people miss. It's not just about earning more, it's about keeping more and growing more.
It really makes you think.
It really should. And it prompts a question for you listening right now.
Yeah.
Have you ever really analyzed your own spending? Tracked the true cost of living where you are?
Digging into where the money actually goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you do that, you might just have that profound aha moment about how much of your city salary is just, well, covering the overhead of being in the city.
Yeah.
And it's this financial reality that's driving the shift, but also, importantly, opening up these amazing opportunities. Which leads us perfectly into our next point.
That's a really powerful way to frame it. And yeah, to bring this whole concept down to earth, let's dive into a specific story, a real person, a real transformation that shows the power of changing location and maybe changing your mindset too.
Love a good case study.
Okay, so picture Niraj. He's a talented software engineer, and he was right there in the thick of that urban struggle we talked about.
Oh.
Earning a pretty substantial euro 1.2 lakh per month in Bangalore. I mean, that's a great salary.
It's definitely respectable.
But even with that income, he felt that constant crushing strain. A staggering 60,000 euro, half his income, just vanished. Rent and basic food.
Gone,
Just,
it's evaporated.
yeah. And beyond the money, he was hitting burnout. Hard, stressed, exhausted, kind of disconnected, even with a good paycheck.
Sounds familiar for many city dwellers.
Totally. It resonates immediately with that city grind idea. I bet a lot of our listeners know that feeling.
Absolutely. Niraj's story really captures that. So facing this burnout, he made a really pivotal, I'd say courageous decision.
A big leap.
A huge leap. It might seem like a step back at first glance, but looking back, it was an immense jump forward for him. He decided to move back to his hometown in Uttarakhand.
Okay, so leaving the big city entirely.
Entirely. Settling into a small, serene village there. Imagine that contrast. He intentionally swapped the concrete jungle, the noise, the pollution,
For fresh air?
for crisp, clean mountain air, the sounds of nature, this real sense of tranquility, and the impact on his mental health. Palpable, immediate improvement in well-being.
But the work aspect, that's key.
Crucial. He meticulously made sure his new place had reliable, high-speed Wi-Fi. That was non-negotiable.
The foundation of the whole plan.
Exactly, because the strategy was to keep his high-paying remote job. Same demanding role, same projects, collaborating with his team, just from a completely different setting. Infinitely more peaceful and, critically, way less expensive.
He wasn't quitting the career, just the location.
Precisely, reimagining the work environment.
And the financial impact of just that move,
Yeah.
it must have been dramatic.
Oh, it's eye-opening. Almost hard to believe until you see the numbers.
Let's hear them.
Okay, so his rent, which was, tens of thousands in Bangalore, it plummeted down to just 4,000 per month in his village.
4,000, that's, wow.
That single detail just shows the immediate massive financial leverage he gained. And remember, he kept earning his same euro 1.2 lakh salary.
So income stays high, expenses plummet.
Across the board. Rent, food costs drop, transport, even casual spending.
Wow.
This created an immediate, really significant surplus every single month.
That gap just widened massively.
And that is the core. That's the essence of this smart income plus simple life equation we're exploring. Maintain the high earning potential, maybe even grow it, while drastically slashing the cost of living.
Maximizing the difference between income and outgoings.
Exactly. It's a strategy focused on maximizing that gap, which is what unlocks real financial freedom and flexibility.
Okay, now here's where Neeraj's story gets even more interesting,
Yeah.
right? There's a twist that shows it wasn't just about saving.
Mm-hmm. This is where it elevates.
It's about leveraging those savings, using that newfound surplus, that extra money, for growth, for creativity, tapping into new opportunities.
Right. He didn't just sit on the savings.
No. With that extra capital building up and probably more mental energy and clarity too.
Definitely less stress.
He took an entrepreneurial leap, inspired by his surroundings, actually. He started his own local coffee brand.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, focusing on sourcing and using these really nice regional beans. So it had this authentic local connection, tapping into that demand for artisanal, ethically sourced stuff.
Smart. Plays to the location's strengths.
But here's the really modern, clever part. He didn't just rely on, like, a local shop. He went digital, hard.
Of course.
Built a brand online, used Instagram, apparently went viral with great visuals and storytelling, and set up e-commerce to sell directly to customers everywhere.
Brilliant. Using tech to bypass geography.
Totally. And it wasn't just a side thing. It quickly became a real venture, adding an extra $50,000 per month to his income.
Wow. On top of his main salary.
On top, a huge, diversified extra income stream, built entirely from the freedom, the financial freedom, the mental space that his move created.
That's incredible. It shows the power of combining, like you said, local advantages with global digital reach.
A real testament to it.
And Neeraj's story, it really goes beyond just him, doesn't it? It connects to this bigger theme. It's not just about escaping the city. It's fundamentally about creating freedom.
Okay. Creating freedom.
Yeah. His shift wasn't just geographical. It was a deep, holistic transformation. Financial well-being, personal autonomy, quality of life.
It went from burnout despite a good salary.
Right. To being financially empowered, creatively fulfilled, and actually thriving. His story is powerful proof that location independence isn't some exclusive club.
It's achievable.
It really is. With smart planning, understanding the modern economy, being open to new chances, and knowing your own priorities. So thinking about Neeraj, what does this all mean for you listening now? How can you start thinking about replicating this kind of success, crafting your own path to freedom outside the city?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We've looked at the why, this big shift, and we've seen Neeraj's amazing what happened.
Yeah, the inspiration.
Now it's time to go practical. Let's pivot from the story to the how you can do it, this next part. Think of it as your blueprint. Actionable strategies, straight from our source material, showing you tangible steps to earn that metro-level income without the metro hassle.
All right, let's dive in.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Translating that dream into reality.
Okay, so the most direct route, often the quickest, is finding a job that's specifically designed to be remote right from the start.
So targeting remote-first roles.
Exactly. The world has genuinely changed. Companies everywhere realize top talent isn't just in big cities anymore. In fact, many actively look for remote talent. It saves them money on offices, gives them a wider talent pool.
Makes sense for them too.
Absolutely. And we're seeing huge, sustained demand for remote workers in several key areas, high-growth sectors.
Like what? Where should people be looking?
Okay, think about IT. That's a massive field, right? Software development, cybersecurity, cloud stuff, data science, even network admin and tech support. Most of that output is digital anyway.
Naturally lends itself to remote.
Totally. Then there's marketing, digital marketing, SEO, social media managers, content strategists, performance marketing.
Yeah.
All doable with just a laptop and internet.
Right.
Customer support has been a remote pioneer for ages, and it's still growing exponentially. Frontline support, technical help, lots of roles there.
Right.
And of course, content creation. Writing, editing, video production, graphic design, even podcasting like us. It thrives remotely where the output is key.
So lots of high-demand skills that work well remotely.
Definitely. These aren't just buzzwords. They're solid career paths you can pursue from anywhere.
And how do you find these jobs?
Good question. You don't have to search blindly. There are great resources. Platforms like Remote OK, we work remotely. They only list remote jobs. Every single listing is for remote work, often globally.
So specialized sites.
Yeah. And even the big general job boards like Naukri here in India, they've adapted. They have really good remote filters now, so You can specifically search for work from home or hybrid roles.
Useful filters.
Very. And a quick tip. When you apply, really highlight your self-discipline, time management, communication skills, especially asynchronous communication, your ability to work independently. Those are gold in remote teams.
Skills beyond the technical ones.
Absolutely. And maybe set up a dedicated professional home office space. Show you're serious. These are real sustainable opportunities. Remote work isn't just a pandemic blip. It's a core part of the modern work landscape.
Okay, so remote employment is path one. What else?
Well, beyond getting a remote job with one company.
There's the whole freelance economy.
Yeah.
That seems like another huge avenue, offering maybe even more freedom.
Immense flexibility, definitely, and incredible control over your work. The beauty of freelancing is, well, you can start small.
No need to dive in head first.
Not at all. Take on a few smaller projects first. Build your portfolio, get some testimonials, establish your reputation. Then you can scale up as you get more confident and the demand for your skills grows.
Less intimidating that way.
Much. You don't need a huge investment, just a marketable skill, understanding what clients need, and honestly, the drive to put yourself out there.
And where do freelancers find clients these days?
The landscape is really strong. Great platforms act like global marketplaces, connecting you directly with clients anywhere. Think Upwork, Fiverr, maybe TopTal for higher-end tech bigs.
Okay, those big names.
They're teeming with opportunities
Yeah.
and the skills in demand. Very similar to the remote jobs, actually. Graphic design, logos, websites, branding, always needed.
Visuals are key.
Coding, web development, apps, data analysis, hugely valuable. Voiceovers, commercials, audiobooks, e-learning, you can do that from a home studio.
Right.
And high-quality writing, blog posts, marketing copy, technical docs. Businesses always need good writers.
So lots of overlap with in-demand remote skills.
Definitely. And the benefits of freelancing, huge. You get autonomy over your schedule, real work-life integration.
Set your own hours.
Set your own rates, too. Value your expertise properly. And crucially, look for clients anywhere. Your location doesn't matter. The whole world is your potential market.
Global reach from your village, potentially.
Exactly. Plus, having multiple clients builds financial resilience. You're not dependent on just one employer.
That's a great point. Okay, remote jobs, freelancing. What's next?
The next level up, perhaps, especially if you have deep expertise, is monetizing your knowledge. Tapping into the knowledge economy.
Selling what you know.
Precisely. It's not just about trading time for money, doing tasks. It's about packaging your insights, your experience into scalable products or services.
Give me an example.
Right. Say you're great at fitness, have a solid method. Instead of just training clients one-on-one, which limits your time.
You create a home workout plan.
Exactly. A digital product,
Yeah.
videos, guides, meal plans, maybe an online community. You create it once, sell it many times.
Scale.
Hugely scalable. Or if you're a skilled teacher in a specific subject, instead of just classroom teaching.
Online tutoring.
Yes. Or even creating online courses.
Yeah.
Reaching students globally, not just locally.
And the income potential there.
It can be really significant. We've seen examples, real success stories. Many educators are earning $80,000 a month or even more.
$1,000 a month. Wow.
Yeah, by using tools like Zoom for live sessions, YouTube for instructional videos. It's a tangible goal.
So it's achievable.
Definitely. The big advantage is scalability and the potential for passive income. You put in the work up front to create the course or the ebook.
And then it can generate revenue over time.
Exactly. Platforms like Teachable, Kajabi, Thinkific make hosting and selling courses pretty easy. Or Gumroad, even Shopify for digital downloads. It's a very attractive path for location-independent earning and real financial freedom.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. One more category,
One more really interesting one.
which is rural entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
I like this idea of challenging that old perception,
Yeah.
that rural doesn't mean backward.
Absolutely critical. That mindset is so outdated. Rural areas used to be seen as places to leave for opportunity or maybe just retire. But now, with technology, changing consumer desires, these areas are full of unique, often untapped business potential. The key is leveraging the advantages of being rural.
Like what? What are those advantages?
Natural beauty, unique local resources, maybe rich cultural traditions, lower operating costs.
Okay, so leaning into what makes the place special.
Exactly. Think about the kinds of businesses that thrive there based on our sources. Eco-resorts, offering sustainable escapes for city folks, using the beautiful surroundings.
There's demand for that?
Huge. Or charming homestays, offering authentic local experiences, connecting tourists with the culture, organic farms, tapping into the demand for healthy local food. maybe direct-to-consumer models.
CSA boxes and things like that.
Right. And crafts businesses, using local skills, materials, traditions to create unique products with stories. These can be serious ventures, not just hobbies.
But the challenge used to be reaching customers,
Yeah.
right? Stuck selling locally.
Used to be. But here's the game changer: technology. These local businesses can now have global reach. You're not limited anymore.
Yeah.
You sell your crafts on Etsy to international buyers seeking unique items. You promote your eco-resort or homestay globally using Instagram, Airbnb.
Visual platforms are perfect for that.
Perfect. You can even sell your organic produce or unique rural products through Amazon, reaching a massive customer base, maybe using their fulfillment services.
So technology completely bridges that gap.
Completely. It allows rural businesses not just to survive, but to really thrive on a global scale, bringing income in from all over.
Okay, 4 distinct paths: remote jobs, freelancing, selling knowledge, and rural entrepreneurship. That's a solid blueprint.
A lot of options to explore.
Now, let's talk about the numbers.
Yeah.
Because, seeing the actual math, the
Yeah.
direct comparison, that often provides the real clarity, the aha moment.
Right. We've talked concepts, stories. Let's crunch the numbers.
Let's do a direct side-by-side based on the source material averages, making it easy to see the difference.
Okay. City versus rural.
All right. City life expenses, monthly estimates,
So let's hear it.
rent, big one. Easily $35,000 for a decent place.
Standard in many metros.
Food, higher prices, eating out,
Yeah.
maybe $10,000.
Plausible.
Travel, commuting, fuel, parking,
Mm.
let's say $8,000.
Yeah, that adds up.
Utilities, often higher rates, maybe $4,000.
Okay.
Entertainment, socializing, city life costs more here, maybe $6,000.
All right.
Miscellaneous. Little things, convenience costs, another
Okay.
$5,000.
Okay, so what's the total city damage?
Okay, adding those up,
Right.
roughly $68,000 per month in just those core expenses.
68,000. Okay. Now let's see the rural life side. Same categories, comparable lifestyle.
Rent, this is the jaw dropper, maybe just $4,000.
Huge difference right there.
Food, fresh local stuff, less eating out, maybe $4,000.
Makes sense.
Travel, simpler, less frequent, walking more, perhaps only a $1,000.
Wow.
Utilities, lower rates usually, maybe $2,000.
Okay.
Entertainment, nature, community events, home cooking, much lower, say $1,500.
Different kind of entertainment.
Miscellaneous, fewer temptations, simpler life, maybe $1,000.
Okay, the rural total.
Comes out to roughly $13,500 per month.
13,500 versus 68,000. That's stark.
It really is, just laid out like that.
Now, let's unpack the implications.
Got it.
If we assume someone's earning that metro-level income, say $90,000 a month, just as an example.
Okay.
In the city, after those Euro 68,000 expenses, their savings might be around 22,000 per month.
22,000 saved, okay.
But in the rural scenario, same Euro 90,000 income, but only 13,500 in expenses. Their savings leap dramatically to 76,500 saved compared to 22. Exactly. That difference, that is the aha moment. It just vividly shows the immense power of slashing your fixed living costs, optimizing your personal cash flow like never before.
It's not just trimming expenses, it's transforming your savings potential.
Transforming it. And now let's blow that up to an annual figure.
Okay, let's see the yearly impact.
That difference in savings, the extra money you're keeping each month in the rural scenario adds up. Over a year, it's an extra 6.54 lakh in savings.
6.5 lakh more per year.
Just from the change in location and cost structure, assuming the same income. Now think about what that extra capital means.
Yeah, what can you do with that?
That's serious seed money for a business, right? Like Neeraj's coffee brand, your launch pad.
Definitely.
Or it's that dream trip to Europe, fully funded. Or backpacking across Asia, exploring the world without touching your core earnings.
It opens up huge possibilities.
Huge. This isn't just about being frugal, it's about creating massive financial leverage, accelerating your path to financial independence, enabling investments, personal growth, maybe philanthropy, achieving big life goals that felt out of reach before.
It fundamentally changes your financial future.
Profoundly.
Yeah.
That's the power of the math.
Okay, the numbers are compelling, the stories are inspiring, but no big life change is ever completely smooth sailing, right?
Never. It's crucial to be realistic.
We have to acknowledge the challenges, the adjustments. It's important to have that balanced view because while the benefits sound amazing, it's not all just quiet countryside perfection. Okay, let's be real for a moment.
Let's get real. What are the hurdles?
There are real obstacles that come with a move like this. You need to be prepared anticipate them.
Absolutely. Forewarned is forearmed.
So, number one, probably the biggest practical worry for remote work outside a city, internet issues.
Ah, yes, a connectivity question. Crucial.
Your whole livelihood depends on stable, fast internet.
Right.
And while things are improving, not everywhere is quite there yet, right?
True. Infrastructure varies a lot.
Then there's the social side, the potential for feeling isolated.
Mm-hmm. That's a real emotional adjustment.
Yeah, moving from a dense city with constant social buzz, easy meetups, diverse networks, to somewhere quieter, maybe less familiar, that can be tough.
You might miss the energy, the spontaneity.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Miss your established circles, the variety of people, easy access to events, just that city buzz.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, you might just miss the nightlife or the convenience of fast food on demand.
Huh. The 2 a.m. pizza craving hits different in the village.
Exactly. These are real lifestyle adjustments you have to think about.
Absolutely. Very valid points. And it's good we're talking about them, but importantly, for each of these hurdles, there's usually a practical solution or at least a way to reframe it.
Okay, let's tackle them. Internet first.
Internet. The key is research, research, research before you move. Actively choose places with good fiber internet. Many smaller towns are investing heavily in this now. They know it attracts people.
So target places with infrastructure.
Yes. If fiber isn't there, look into fixed wireless options or even satellite internet like Starlink. It's getting better and reaching more places. And always, always have a mobile hotspot backup.
Redundancy is key.
Ugh.
Okay, what about isolation?
Isolation. Okay, your physical social circle might change, but you can intentionally build an online community. Use video calls, join online groups for hobbies or professional interests. Keep connections strong digitally and forge new ones online.
So lean into digital connection.
Yes, but also make a real effort locally. Immerse yourself, join clubs, volunteer, go to markets, talk to neighbors. Build those face-to-face connections too.
Be proactive in the new place.
Exactly. And the lack of nightlife or fast food, well, honestly, if you reframe it, that often means more health.
Ah, the silver lining.
Right. You're more likely to cook healthy meals with fresh local stuff. More likely to do outdoor activities, hiking, cycling. Adopt a healthier rhythm, naturally, without the city temptations and stresses.
Trading late nights out for early morning hikes, maybe.
Could be. Your evenings might become about stargazing, reading, real conversations, not just noise.
So challenges are real, but manageable with planning and perspective.
Precisely. And when you weigh these challenges against the massive, transformative benefits,
Mental peace.
profound mental peace, quality time with family, for hobbies, just for being,
And the financial freedom.
that unparalleled financial freedom that liberates you from the grind, honestly. For most people who make the switch successfully, these benefits overwhelmingly outweigh the rest.
It comes down to priorities.
It really does, which leads to that personal question for you, the listener. If you listed your pros and cons for your unique situation, how would they balance? What benefits would you gain? And how would you tackle your potential challenges?
That self-reflection is key.
Absolutely key to making an informed, empowering choice that fits you.
Okay. So as we wrap up this really comprehensive deep dive, let's just hammer home that core takeaway, the main message we hope you take from this.
Let's bring it home.
You absolutely do not need to live in a metro city to earn a metro-level income anymore. That old rule book, it's being rewritten. Opportunity isn't just limited by city boundaries now.
Not at all. It's limited more by your ingenuity, your skills, your choices.
Exactly.
And this ties into that deeper philosophy behind this whole shift. It boils down to a simple, powerful equation. Smart income plus simple life equals real wealth.
Smart income, simple life, real wealth. I like that.
It's a redefinition of prosperity, isn't it? What a rich life really means. It's maybe less about accumulating more stuff and more about accumulating more freedom.
Freedom of time.
Freedom of time, freedom of choice, freedom from stress, more peace in your day-to-day. It's not really about escaping the city like you're running away. It's about proactively creating freedom.
Creating freedom.
The freedom to live, work, and genuinely thrive wherever you choose, on your terms. Aligning your career with what actually matters to you. So if you are feeling caught in that city chaos right now, maybe dreaming of quieter hills, a closer community, just a different way of being, maybe, just maybe, it really is time to think about taking that leap, or at least exploring it seriously.
All right.
What's one small, intentional step you could take this week, just to explore a different path? Maybe it's just an hour researching remote jobs in your field.
Or checking property costs somewhere quiet.
Or even just tracking your current spending honestly to see that urban overhead we talked about. The journey, that liberation, it really does start with that first deliberate step.
It's a perfect, really actionable thought to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, exploring how to transform earnings and reimagine living.
Been a pleasure.
We really hope this gave you tons of insights, some concrete strategies, and definitely plenty to think about as you navigate your own path towards financial freedom and, well, a life truly well lived. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into what makes your life richer.